Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 19 of this 2020-2021 Premier League season. Now, we're recording this on Wednesday evening. Week 18 still hasn't completed because the amount of football on at the moment is just ridiculous. Crazy. Manchester City have just beaten Brighton 1-0 with a Phil Foden goal. Congratulations to the citizens then. But what we'll do, we'll just have a quick look at how well we are doing in week 18, and then we'll move on to the fixtures. So Nathan, how are you doing at the moment?
So far I've had a very good one. I've had 7 points with 2 perfect results. That's actually 2 out of 4 there. And I've also had a correct result on the Man City Brighton game as well. So I've only got 1 game wrong this week so far. And those 2 perfect scores was Burnley to lose to Man United 1-0 and Everton to beat Wolves 2-1.
Myself, Nathan, not as good as you so far this week. Just the 2 points, which is the result where Man United beat Burnley 1-0, and I also got a Man City victory over Brighton. Correct. Representing the viewers is Tanua Liat. I think that's how you pronounce it, Tan. Currently on 2 points as well. Heading up the viewers at the moment in week 18 is LFC 96 YNWA, currently on 8 points, so congratulations there. So it's all to play for in week 18. We've got a massive list of fixtures to get through, so without further ado, let's get into it. 16 of them taking place between Saturday the 16th of January and Thursday the 21st of January.
Okay, so first up we've got the 12:30 on Saturday game between Wolves and West Brom. Now West Brom, terrible form at the moment. They haven't played in this game week. This is their rest week, so they'll have a good rest after that. But Wolves, they did lose to Everton, so Nuno's going to want them to bounce back. And with the way that West Brom have been playing, in the last 2 games alone, they've conceded 9 goals, which is crazy as well. And of course, they got a lucky 1-1 draw against Liverpool, but just some of the teams they've been losing to, Arsenal, Leeds, very poor performances recently. Wolves should win this one, so I'm going to go 2-0 Wolves.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wolves will beat West Brom. West Brom have only won once this season. Sheffield United creeping up on their tails, you could say, after their first victory of the season over Newcastle yesterday. So, I think Wolves, after that defeat against Everton, Ruben Neves looked really good. He scored his goal, but he had this one shot. I think he sort of flicked it up to himself and volleyed, and that went just wide, I think it was, or the keeper saved it. So I think Wolves will get all 3 points in this match, but it will be close, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Wolves in this one. Next up, we've got Leeds against Brighton. Now this takes place at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and there's actually 2 fixtures on Saturday at 3 o'clock. Leeds find themselves in 12th position at the moment. The last time they played, they lost 3-0 away at Tottenham,
and they also lost 3-0 away at Crawley Town as well.
I know,
absolutely disgraceful.
The wonder of the FA Cup, and they actually had quite a strong team out in that. So what happened there, Leeds fans? Brighton losing this evening, of course, against Man City, putting up a pretty good fight. Watched a bit of that game. They had their chances, Brighton, but Manchester City shone through yet again in that one. So I think Leeds will win this one. I think after that defeat against Crawley, they're going to bounce back, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Leeds.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go for a narrow 1-0 to Leeds. Looking at Brighton recently, they just don't look good. I mean, they showed some signs of promise tonight. There's attacking in places, but they're just not getting the goals in. They're not getting the shots, and I don't know. I think they're going to really struggle against Leeds. That pace is just, and the way that Leeds play with the amount of tempo is just going to crucify Brighton, so I'm going to go 1-0. So next up we've got West Ham Burnley on Prime at 3 o'clock. Now Burnley losing that last time around very unluckily to Man United, and then West Ham, I believe they've had a week off, so they'll be well rested, of course. Tough one to predict, I reckon, but with West Ham's form recently, 1 loss in 6 matches, which is very good form, I am going to go for a 2-1 West Ham victory.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree with you on this one, Nathan. West Ham, they've only won 2 of those 6 matches that you've just mentioned. Burnley looking solid. Okay, it was a narrow 1-0 victory against Manchester United last night, but they had their chances as well. could say that Manchester United, they should have had more goals, particularly that Harry Maguire ruling it out for a slight infringement. Terrible decision by the referee. But Burnley losing 2 matches in their last 6, only 1-0 those defeats. So I think it's going to end up all square. Hammers have had a bit more of a rest, but 1-1 for me in this fixture. Next up, we've got Fulham at home against Chelsea. Fulham and Chelsea not playing in week 18 game week, I should say. Chelsea find themselves in 9th position in the table. Fulham in the relegation zone. I think Chelsea going to bounce back slightly in this one. Fulham defensively been solid recently. However, I think the attacking talent on display, and Lampard's going to have them out on the training ground this week. So I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 away victory to the Blues.
Yeah, Fulham derby as they often call it. Fulham could turn up because they've been all right recently, getting loads of draws. They just can't seem to get wins or just anything. Not really scoring much either, but they are shoring up the defence a little bit. But Chelsea need to get some points back on the board. I don't think that Fulham are going to win the Fulham derby at home at Craven Cottage. So Chelsea 2-1, I reckon. I think Fulham will pierce that defence, definitely.
Yeah, you've got to give it to Fulham though. They did draw at home against Liverpool and at home against Southampton. 2
very good results there, and you could say Brighton as well. But anyway, next up we've got Leicester versus Southampton. Speaking about Southampton, of course, 1 loss in 6 games, however 3 draws there as well, but they did win their previous meeting as well. And then Leicester currently in 3rd position, sort of exactly the same form really, except Leicester have that extra win under their belt, of course. This is a tricky one, to be fair, and probably one of the hardest of this game week, aside from one that we'll get on to later on. It is on BT Sport, of course, if anyone wants to know. It's going to be Desmond's. There's going to be goals in it, and I think it's going to be 2-2.
Yeah, I think it will be a draw as well, Nathan. However, I don't think there'll be as many goals in the match. I think it's going to end up 1-1 this match. I think the Saints 7th position at the moment, as you say, only 1 defeat in their last 7 matches, and last time out they actually beat Liverpool at home. But Liverpool's sort of form has been dipping in recent games themselves. So Foxes having a bit of a rest as well. I'm going 1-1 in this match. Next up, we've got Aston Villa against Everton. I think this match has been rearranged from Friday night due to the demonetised virus. Aston Villa, I think, in the FA Cup going out, was it 4-1 to Liverpool? I believe it was something like that. Played the kids, who did really well.
They did decent.
In that.
Louis Barry had a good game.
Yeah, they did decent. But if Aston Villa, I think they're only going to be training from Saturday, I believe, so only 1 day training. Everton looked fantastic against Wolves. They did win narrowly 2-1, but they had lots of players missing themselves. I think Calvert-Lewin wasn't playing in that one, and lots of players were playing out of position. So I think tactically very astute in that game. I think with Villa not playing and only having 1 day's training, I can see Everton winning this one, and I'm going to go for a comprehensive 2-0 victory to Everton.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 here. I think it'll be a bit less now. Aston Villa, they always like to find a way to score, but yeah, with all the things going on with Villa at the moment, I just think Everton, with their form as well, are just going to edge through. So 2-1.
Yeah, we don't know how many people, how many players could be out for this one as well.
Exactly.
Indeed, will it go ahead? Yeah.
That is the question. But anyway, moving on. Next up, we've got Sheffield United versus Spurs, and Sheffield United have won a game of football. In fact, 2 games of football in a row, of course. Winning in the FA Cup and winning in the league, of course. Newcastle, they just played like utter dribble in that game, just showed nothing and were absolutely awful. Ryan Fraser, what on earth was that, man? But they're coming up. Against the Spurs team, who dispatched Marine, of course, in the FA Cup. Vinicius, absolutely pathetic with his celebrations. I mean, anyone could have scored that goal, quite frankly, unless you're Frederick and not be, of course. But yeah, this has got to be in the bag for Spurs. They're going to be on good confidence. Sheffield United, I think they might push Spurs to quite a bit because they don't let too many goals in. It's usually about 1 or 2-0, but I think Spurs will dominate them 3-0.
Yes, Spurs, of course, playing on Thursday evening. On Wednesday evening. Still to be played this tonight. That's against Fulham. So that I'm going to watch that match. Will be very interesting. Sheffield United will be full of confidence after that FA Cup victory and that win against Newcastle, of course. I think Spurs will have too much for them, but I think Sheffield United defensively looking really good at the moment, so I'm just going to go for a narrow 1-0 away victory to Spurs. Next up, we've got what people are saying is the biggest match of the weekend, possibly the biggest match of the season as well. We've got first against second, Manchester United, top of the table, haven't been there for a number of years now.
Conditionally, may I add.
That's right.
Look at Man City.
Yeah, they're coming up behind them, aren't they? But this takes place at 4:30 on Sky on Sunday. Manchester United, very good away from home. Liverpool, excellent at home, although their form has been stuttering. They lost last time out against Southampton, of course, and prior to that, they drew away against the Magpies of all teams.
Terrible.
And prior to that, West Brom even drew with them at home. So I'm not sure what to make of this one. Manchester United should be full of confidence. They've won, what is it? I think it's 5 games out of 6.
Yeah, they are.
In their last 6 games. So
because of course they drew 2-2 with Leicester in quite a good game. That was.
Yeah, I think they're going to cancel each other out. These two teams who normally play in red. I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go for a Liverpool win here. They're going to extend their Anfield unbeaten record. Jurgen Klopp is going to have them rally to make sure that happens, of course, but this one's going to be tight. It just depends on which team turns up on the day, but Liverpool, they're going to want to defend home court. It's going to happen. I think it's going to be 2-1 Liverpool. Okay, so next up we've got Man City versus Crystal Palace. Now Man City have actually moved up to 3rd position.
Yes.
After that win against Brighton, which means they are now only 4 points away from the top of the table with a game in hand, of course, which puts a lot of pressure on Man United as well. Depending on that Liverpool game, they could actually... Depending on that Liverpool game, they could just be 1 point apart, and then Man City could pit them to the top of the league. The following week. Palace, they've been in really patchy form. They did end their Christmas troubles after a 2-0 win against Sheffield United. They do have to play Arsenal on the 14th though tomorrow night, which I think is going to be an interesting game, quite pivotal for them. But Man City, surely they got to win this one. 3-1.
Yeah, Manchester City winning this evening 1-0 against Brighton. I would have thought they'd have scored more goals than that. Crystal Palace leave themselves wide open. I'm sure they lost something like 7-0 recently as well. Was it against Liverpool?
So, yeah.
They did at home. They are playing away. Yeah, defensively sometimes they can be found wanting, so I'm going to go for a home win to the citizens in this one, 3-0. Next up we've got on Monday evening, I think it's the only game on Monday, this is between Arsenal and Newcastle. Arsenal on a great winning streak at the moment, find themselves in 11th position, winning the last 3 games, play tomorrow against Crystal Palace, of course. Newcastle, all sorts of trouble, fans are calling for Steve Bruce's head.
Mike Ashley's, Joe Linton's, Fraser's as well. Oh my word.
Whoever loses against Sheffield United this season, what's going on? So I'm going to go for a straightforward 2-0 victory to the Gunners.
Interesting. I actually think it's going to be much narrower than that. I think Steve Bruce is going to be going mentally and going to be wanting to really shore up the defence in Newcastle if that's even possible at the moment. But Arsenal, I don't think they're going to be on their goal scoring ones. They always tend to flop under these circumstances. So I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 here. But the thing you've got to remember about Arsenal is look at the teams that they've beaten recently. West Brom, who have been dribble. Brighton, who have been dribble. And Chelsea, who have been complete dribble as well. So what do we make of it? Dribble, yes indeed. So 1-0 Arsenal. I think this will be their last game and then they're going to start to lose again anyway. But moving on to Tuesday night at 6 o'clock between West Ham and West Brom. West Ham's second match of the game week, of course. And then West Brom, they're probably going to lose again. They're probably going to lose to Wolves earlier in the game week. So 2-0 West Ham.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Hammers will win this one. I think West Brom do have to push forward. This might be a game which they come out and maybe think to themselves that they can get something out of the game. However, I think West Ham will just have a little bit too much quality for them. West Brom struggle to score goals, so I'm going for a 2-1 win to the Hammers in this one. Next up, Still on Tuesday, we've got Leicester City against Chelsea. Now, Chelsea, as we just mentioned a little bit earlier, falling down the table, find themselves in 9th position. Foxes in 4th position at the time of recording. I think this is going to end up in a stalemate. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Interesting. I actually think Leicester are going to edge this one, you know?
Yeah, they could do.
Yeah, I think they're going to start to pile some wins on now, as they're going to want to cement their position in those Champions League spots. But I just don't think Chelsea are going to turn up for this one. It's going to be a game they look saying, oh, maybe we might win it, but I don't think they're going to turn up, and I think Leicester's going to win 2-1. Moving on to Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we have Leeds versus Southampton. Now, Southampton, they're going to want to keep their run going, and Leeds, it's their defence that's the issue. I think Southampton are easily going to pierce it, and Southampton's defence will be well on form for this one, and they're just not going to be able to make their way through Leeds, and I think they'll struggle. So 2-0 to Southampton.
You've got to ask yourself though, Nathan, which Leeds United team are going to turn up? Is it going to be the one who turned up against Crawley, or are we going to see the Leeds that beat West Brom or Burnley? Remains to be seen. Southampton last time out beat Liverpool. They are playing at Leicester City on I think it's Saturday rather. I think Leeds are I think Leeds are sort of up and down, so inconsistent. So Southampton more consistent. I'm going to go for an away win, and I'm going to go 2-1 to the Saints. Next up, on Wednesday at 8:15 in the evening, we got Fulham against Manchester United. We've already had a look at Fulham's home form and how they're making it very difficult for teams. Manchester United, excellent away. Of course, they beat Burnley 1-0 last night, so I think they're going to exactly the same scoreline. Fulham will make it difficult for them, but Fulham are finding it very hard to score. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 away victory to the Red Devils to keep them on top of the table. Interesting.
I'm actually going to go for a 2-0 here. I think Fulham, they should easily dispatch them. They'll pierce through that defence, and they'll get through that defence, definitely. The likes of Bobby Reid, Ademola Lookman, even though Bobby Reid is on the form of his life at the moment, it pains me to say it. Oh, if only he did that at Cardiff at times. But yeah, I think they might put up a fight, but I just don't think they'll be able to score anything. And Man United should be able to get through it, so 2-0.
So that means now I think you have predicted Manchester United to win 4 matches on the trot.
I have indeed, minus the Liverpool one.
Interesting.
So much for my hate for Man United, guys. But anyway, moving on. Next up, we've got another match on at the same time on BT Sport. Thank God we have BT Sport now, between Manchester City and Aston Villa. Aston Villa, 8th position. I think they're going to go on I think they might go on a couple of game losing streak, and then they'll start to pick it up. I can't see them beating Man City at all. Man City, Pep is going to want them to push and pile the pressure on Man United, so I am going to go for a 3-0 Man City in this one.
I completely agree with you, Nathan. I'm going to go for exactly the same scoreline. We know about Aston Villa and the trouble that they're having with the demonetised virus. They're going to be playing, or is it on Saturday? I think, no, Sunday rather. Yeah. So many games this week on Sunday. Then it's a quick turnaround for them playing on Wednesday. Manchester City, well-oiled machine at the moment, cruising up the table, 3-0 to Man City. And the last and final fixture of this humongous mammoth, as somebody has said, of this game, we have Liverpool against Burnley, the Reds.
This is going to be a banana skin and half.
Yeah, now last season Burnley went to Anfield and ground out a 1-1 draw, but I think Liverpool are going to take all 3 points in this one, and I'm going to go for a Reds victory 2-0. I think the likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino I should say, they're just going to outscore Burnley in this one 2-0.
Interesting. I think it's going to be much closer than that. Liverpool, I think Burnley will try and attack Liverpool as much as possible because of their defensive issues that they have at the moment with the amount of players injured and stuff, but Liverpool should be able to get there through their defence easy, but only 1 goal, 1-0.
So that concludes our predictions for week 19 of the 2020-2021 Premier League season. Now, before we round up, Nathan, what is your nap of the week?
So my nap of the week is actually Leeds versus Southampton. I don't like to go for a plain obvious one.
Going for Southampton?
I like to go for an obscure one, so I am going to go for Southampton to beat Leeds.
Interesting. Newcastle, terrible form at the moment. how they played the other night. Well, Sheffield United beat them. So Arsenal, with the way they're playing and the way they're winning at the moment, I'm going to go for an Arsenal for my nap of the week. So, as we said, Nathan, rounding up, is there anything you'd like to add? Live streams. Tell me about
live
them.
stream Cardiff versus Norwich on Saturday, 3 o'clock. Make sure you're there, guys. A match preview Friday.
Superb. And with regards to myself, a live stream, hopefully I'll be doing the Soccer Super Saturday Sky Super Saturday Soccer 6.
Got there in the end.
On Saturday morning, so you're more than welcome to join me. I don't know what time, might be 9 o'clock, might be 10 o'clock, might be 11 o'clock. Stay tuned for that. But anything else before we go?
Don't think so, no.
No, just get ready for this feast of football.
This is going to be
16
difficult to
matches,
watch.
and then once this game week is finished, there's football galore all the way through January, all the way through February. So look forward to that before the international break. So once again, thanks for watching. As always, remember, if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the football.